Welcome back to Get It Right, and we are discussing matters rabbit farming. So Naftali, tell us, what should a farmer do after kindling?
After kindling, you should be feeding the mother very well. You should be having enough feed and plenty of water because they need a lot of hydration when they're breastfeeding. And then you should always check on the cage, and it should not be too ventilated because to avoid the cold penetrating through the cage. And then the rabbits the kids take 1 to 2 months before they are weaned by the mother. So after 2 months, you should separate the kids from the mother and then feed the mother well for at least 1 to 2 weeks before you serve it again with the male for it to be healthy and even give a healthy uh, litter, which the babies.
So many farmers are confused about feeding rabbits. So what is the right process or the right food for rabbits?
Rabbits should be fed on mostly dry matter. That is hay. Pellets should be as a supplement. Plenty of water too. Um, once you, the reason why we are advised to feed rabbits on dry matter is because there is a lot of protein content in dry matter than green ones. Yes. So when you are feeding them with hay, that is dry hay, that is the best. You need to have, and again, when you're talking about hay, we have hay varieties. You should at least use the Bomarothes hay, which is high in protein, because once you are in this business, you need to your rabbits to gain weight fast for them to hit the market weight. Or bloating happens when rabbits are feeding on mostly green crops or green plants, or sometimes when they're overfeeding, when they're overfed, or even sometimes when they're eaten on something that are not supposed to be eaten. So this ailment can cause the death in 2 hours time.
How can you tell if a rabbit is bloated?
It will be, first thing for you to know that the rabbit is bloated, it will isolate itself, and then it will also have a big stomach. Sometimes you might not even notice, you only notice when it's dead. That is when you know it was bloating, because the stomach will be elongated. Rabbits have a very tight sphincter muscles in the stomach, and because they are not to puke, they cannot be able to puke like human beings or even like dogs or even the other mammals. So once there is a bloat in the stomach, the gases keep multiplying, and once they are multiplying, the stomach will the stomach lining will grow, okay, will expand, and then they will start pressing on some organs like the lungs, kidney, and eventually the rabbit will die. So for you to avoid this, you need to feed them well. You need to have plenty of water in the cages, and you should know what your rabbits are eating, not just anything.
Apart from bloating, what are other diseases that are likely to affect the rabbits on your farm?
Rabbits, they have the major ailments are pneumonia during the cold seasons, and then we also have a monkey, which is a skin disease that is caused by parasites, but it's very treatable. And then we also have the common one, which is gastrointestinal dilation or bloating. Yes, another disease that we normally have is it's called abscess. Abscess comes when the rabbits are crowded or they are fighting, especially the males. So if they are fighting and then there is a wound, untreated wound, within a very short time, when there is an infection, a bacterial infection, the rabbit will just die instantly. Yeah, so you will need to, at least in a cage, you should have friendly rabbits. Okay, at least 4 rabbits that are not fighting. If they are fighting, you need to separate them. Especially the males should be totally separated, because males are territorial.
How can you make rabbit venture profitable?
For you to do commercial profitable rabbit farming, you need to rear the hybrid rabbits or the grade rabbits. You should shun the indigenous ones, because the indigenous ones take a lot of time to gain the market weight, and then they are prone to diseases. So these hybrid ones are good because they are disease resistant, and then their ratio of meat to bone is high. So because what plants need is meat, not the bones mostly.
I mean, there are so many conmen out there, and farmers tend to fall into the trap of being cheated. So, how can one be able to identify a hybrid rabbit?
A farmer can easily identify a hybrid rabbit by determining the weight, body mass, and even the posture. Yeah, the way a hybrid rabbit can pose is not the same way that uh, an indigenous rabbit can pose. So those are some of the things that you need to factor in when you are going for the hybrid rabbits. At least it should be over 2.5 kilos. That's a hybrid rabbit, over 2.5 kilos, and then the ears. The ears should be, if it's a California white, the ears should be black, even the nose and mouth, and even the feet. And if it's New Zealand white, should be purely white, and then it should at least have a broad body mass.
So, what are some of the most popular breeds reared in Kenya?
Breeds like Flemish Giant, the New Zealand White, Checkered Giant, the Dutch.
Is fur a consideration when you're choosing a rabbit breed?
If you want to do rabbitry for fur, you need to consider to keep the Angora rabbit breed because it has much air than all these others. Yes.
Most farmers record a high mortality rate of young rabbits just after birth. Why is this the case?
There's a high mortality of rabbit kids when they're being born and before they hit the second month. When they're being born, sometimes we have the primees, the new mothers. They may not know how to take good care of their rabbits, especially when they are cycling them. Sometimes you might find it's only four babies that are cycling, the rest are not cycling, or the mother does not have enough milk, so some might die. And then before they hit the second month, we also have high mortality because once the rabbits are young, they cannot be able to withstand the bacterial infections because we do have bacterial infections. So when they are young, they cannot be able to defend themselves. So some might have to die. So what you need to do is, as a farmer, as a serious farmer, you need to feed your rabbit well so that you can be able to have enough milk to feed the babies. And then you should have a good caging and hygiene in the cage, because once you feed them well, you have a good cage for them, and these are the right breeds, you are good to go. There'll be very minimal mortality.
So I've also heard that you should not touch a young rabbit before it grows fur, or if you touch it, maybe the mother will kill it. So is this a myth or a fact?
Once the rabbits have been born, or once the kitties have been born, of course you should avoid touching them because some mothers are very sensitive. But if you are a farmer, like for me in my farm, when I touch them, they don't have a problem because they know my scent. They are so connected to me. But you should always avoid touching them, especially if it's ladies who normally use perfumes or cosmetic products that can turn away their baby mother from the babies. You can even make them to abandon the babies. It's not a myth, it's a fact.
I've also heard of cases where a rabbit swallows its young ones. Is this a fact?
Oh, that is a myth. I've never seen that one and I've never read it anywhere. I've been in this business for the last 5 years. That is a myth. You cannot, okay, once they are scared, they can only be able, they can just run towards one corner, but they cannot be able to swallow the rabbit or the babies. I think that what does that is these are the big fish in the oceans. Those are the ones that yeah, swallow their babies, and then when the enemy goes there, they puke them out. But the rabbits don't do that.
So what are some of the common mistakes that farmers make?
The major mistake that people make is the market one. Someone starts rabbit farming without knowing where they're going to sell them. That is another very big mistake. Another one is about feeding. Some farmers tend to think that if you want to do farming, you just need to feed them with greens, just the remains of what you have in the farm. No, you need to have a proper feeding program, and also you need to keep records of your rabbits, because let's say if a buyer comes and asks you, how old is this rabbit, you should tell them their age, because you should have also records. And you should also have a breeding schedule. Like, you should not be just breeding anyhow. Some farmers do They just mix the males and females, and even those rabbits that are related, we do have inbreeding. So inbreeding will cause, it will bring weaknesses in the future stock. So you need to avoid inbreeding, as in you should always not breed rabbits that are related, especially father and daughter and brother sister.
So what is inbreeding, and is it good or bad for business?
Inbreeding is when you are breeding related, blood related rabbits to produce an offspring. So let's say it's a father and daughter that is inbreeding, and this is discouraged because it weakens the offspring, because the offspring will be prone to diseases. It will not grow to the required weight. It might not grow to the required weight, market weight. And then crossbreeding is when breeding, it's when you're breeding one particular breed to another breed. Let's say it's a Flemish Giant and a New Zealand, and a New Zealand. That is crossbreeding. So the offspring will be a crossbreed.
What about crossbreeding? Is it good? Does it help your production on the farm?
If you are doing commercial rabbit farming for meat, you should consider crossbreeding also, because you should get a strong a strong particular breed with another strong particular breed, and then you mate them. That is when you get a very good offspring.
What other value added products can you get from rabbits?
We have fur. Fur is used to make ornamental clothing, and then we also have the skin that is used to make ornamental footwear. Value addition of uh, like introducing the rabbit sausages. We do have rabbit sausages, though it's not well known. So you can have the sausages. You also have barbecue.
So when a farmer is doing rabbit farming, they are doing it for the market. So what is the price of the rabbit meat in the market? Maybe per kilogram?
Rabbit meat. Okay, rabbit meat is sold in kilograms and with different prices. So if you, at least for a dead weight rabbit per kilo, it should cost over 500 per kilo. It should be 500 shillings per kilo, and if it's live weight, it should be over 700 shillings per kilo. Just for you to make for it to make economic sense.
Thank you so much, Naftali, for coming into our show, Get It Right, and enlightening us on production of rabbit for commercial value. We hope you've enjoyed the show on Get It Right. I've been your host throughout the show, Margaret Wairimo. Till next time on another episode, keep it KTN Farmers TV.